Hello again, my little conscripts, and welcome to another Mordian Glory video. In today's episode, I want to take you through step by step my latest competitive Warhammer 40k Imperial Guard army. And I don't mean to alarm you, but this is not a meme list. I have actually tried to build something that is a bit competitive, taking into account all of the changes from the recent October balanced data slate. And so without further ado, let's not mess around any further. Let's mount up, roll out, and drive right into today's episode.
Attention Guardsmen, the Commissariat has detected you have not yet liked this video. Do so immediately or else you will face the Emperor's wrath. And anyone who has not yet subscribed to the channel will be transferred to the penal battalions. That is all. Move out!
So first things first, I just want to give you guys a couple of thoughts around the balanced data slate and how it has impacted this list. How am I taking it into account? So there are two really big things that are impacting this list. The first one is tank commanders gaining the squadron keyword. I no longer think that the Lord Solar is mandatory, so you'll see he's not in this list, and rather the tank commanders are going to be looking after themselves because now they can order themselves. They're also going to be the principal main source of firepower in the army rather than being more of a support element. And the other big factor is the Tempestus Aquilans. I will be including some of those in this list because I think they are a really strong unit right now. With those new tools at our disposal, combining it with some of our existing proven strategies and tactics, I think that Guard has potential to be a really powerful faction that can punch well above its weight and is in a position to take the meta by storm. But with all of that said, now let's get into the nitty gritty. I know why you guys are here. You want to know exactly what units and loadouts are in this list, so let us begin with the Infantry Corps. Say it with me, guys. Every day in the Corps is like a day on the farm. Every meal a banquet, every paycheck a fortune,
every formation a parade. I love the Corps!
And I suspect that today's Corps is not going to contain many surprises for regular viewers of the channel. That's right, Mordian is busting out the mechanized infantry once again, and we are taking 5 chimeras, every single one with double heavy bolter and a heavy stubber and a hunter killer missile, and we've got the lasgun arrays, and inside each one of these chimeras we have got, you guessed it, 10 Catachans, and each Catachan squad is going to have 2 flamers. This is the foundation, the bedrock on which all of my competitive lists are built at the moment. I love the durability that you get from just mass chimeras. A lot of the time people just can't deal with all of the vehicles, and then you have the chimeras on top of that as well. And also it's really fast. Movement wins games, and there's nothing like having a well-armed and armored metal box scouting forward and then also being able to push forward. It allows you to get onto objectives, and what I love about it is the enemy destroys the chimera, the infantry pile out, and the primary objective is, in many cases, still yours. It's a great way of being able to take and hold primary objectives, which is something that often the Guard can struggle to do. Sometimes we can take them, but it can be difficult to hold onto them, and that's why I love these chimeras. On top of this, they provide a real volume of firepower. All of that DACA coming from the Chimera is not only inherently good at anti-infantry, because a lot of it is anti-infantry based, like heavy bolters, stubbers, lasguns, all that kind of stuff, but also thanks to the fact that Chimeras have the squadron keyword, I have been finding my Chimeras have just been chipping away wounds at an alarmingly regular rate. And what's more, the Catachans in the back with those 2 flamers. In total, that is 10 flamers we've got in this army, guys. It is perfect for when you encounter something that has some kind of negative to hit modifier. Maybe someone's trying to pop smoke or something. I found that if someone wants to use a -1 to hit stratagem on an infantry unit, maybe lightning fast reflexes or not disgusting resilient cloud of flies or something like that, just being able to have a couple of flamers that can just allow you to automatically hit. It's just good. And yeah, they're not going to kill anything too tough. You can automatically hit all the Destral Terminators that you want. Those flames aren't going to do much. But, when you've got those lighter units, for example, opposing Aquilans, and you've also got things like Eldar, just being able to get some strength 4 auto hits on them does allow you to clear those units quite nicely. And then that's not even taking into account all of the other Dakka that you have here. They're just a really solid vehicle that can take on vehicles and infantry alike. But of course, their primary role is to do the primary objectives and maybe sneak a few secondaries here and there if they get the opportunity. If we're looking for firepower, we need to go over to the Armored Corps. And in this list, that consists of 3 tank commanders and a Rogel Dorm. The 3 tank commanders have all got identical loadouts. We are looking at las cannon, plasma cannons, hunter killer missiles, heavy stubbers, and demolisher cannons. That's right, the demolisher cannons are back, baby! It really feels like we're reliving the glory days of 8th and 9th edition when demolisher cannons reigned supreme. Who remembers the tournament list that had 11 Lemurus demolishers in it? Heading crazy times. Now, we're not quite there now, but seeing tank commanders with their demolisher cannons again just feels right. It just feels good. And having them as being the main damage dealers and the big dogs of the Guard Armoured Force, it's just how it should be. I know a lot of people think that tank commanders should do lots of supporting and stuff like that. And in an ideal world, they would do. But we've been trying that for like 18 months of 10th edition, and tank commanders have just felt really rubbish. They felt really lackluster. So, you know what? I feel like GW's gone, screw it. You want your tank commanders back, you can have them. And let me say, GW, I am very grateful to have my OG, old school, powerful tank commanders. Now, why are these guys so good at the moment? Well, they got the squadron keyword. This means that they can order themselves. So no longer do you have a tank commander that can order another vehicle, but he's just sat there hitting on 4s and being a bit useless. Nope, now your tank commander with his one order can just lean down into the crew compartment of his tank and go, all right lads, take aim, shoot that thing a bit better. And it just makes playing the army so much more streamlined, so much easier. There's just less of this faffing around. You don't have to take the Lord Swords or the tank commanders to order. It's just a nightmare. Now it's all sorted, and we've got tank commanders that can order themselves. And the best bit is they now have the squadron keyword as well, which isn't, well, that's not just for orders, but the best bit about having the squadron keyword, I should say, is they have the lethal hits thanks to Born Soldiers. So these guys going against enemy vehicles or monsters are going to be tearing chunks out of them. I have found in my tables of experience that you still typically need like 1.5 tank commanders to bring down some of the medium and bigger stuff, but it's still a lot easier than it was. And it's just a lot more straightforward. It's easier on the old brain power. Now, I've got 3 of these bad boys. And obviously, I've gone for the demolish cannons. But for this, if you're wondering why I've gone for plasma cannons and las cannons as the extra weapons rather than multi melters, well, these guys are pretty short ranged. And in my practice, I found that there was probably 1 turn a game where my tank commanders were out of range with their main guns. So I went for plasma cannons as the sponsons because they've got a 36 range. So even if my main gun was out of range, my tank commanders could still contribute. I've gone for triple demolish cannon here, but I think there is a real chance that having double demolish cannon and maybe 1 long range tank commander, maybe with an executioner plasma cannon, so that you've still got the AP and the damage, but you've got the range as well. I think that might be the way to go. But we'll see. We will see. We're sticking with the triple demolisher for now. For long-range firepower, we have gone for the Rogel Dorm. We've got the Oppressor Cannon, the Auto Cannon, the 2 Heavy Bolters, the Heavy Stubbers, and we've got a Pulverizer Cannon in the front there. Now, my thinking is that between all of the Heavy Bolters over here, and the Hunter Killers, and all their accoutrement, and then all of the Plasma Cannons and Las Cannons here, and then with the Rogel Dorm, we should still have enough longer-range firepower that if we do get that first turn, we do to shoot something that's not immediately in our face, we will be able to do so with volume and effectiveness. Now, the Rogel Dawn is not only here to provide me with some solid, more punchy long-range firepower, because obviously that oppressor cannon is strength 12 and damage 3. It's just a little bit more of a cut above all of the heavy bolters that we're trying to grind the enemy down with. But not only is it doing long-range punchy firepower, but it's also adding an extra layer of durability. A Rogel Dorm with pop smoke on it, plus the fact that it's got its own ablative armor, plus the fact we've got this cheeky chappy here, a regimental engine seer, to give it a 4+ invulnerable save, makes for a damn durable target. And unless the opponent is able to spam a shed load of mortal wounds, this makes, I think I have found it very difficult for my opponents to kill a Rogel Dawn in one go. Sometimes they've got it down to like 5 or 6 wounds, but then the Tech Priest heals it up and unbrackets it. But it's very, I haven't actually had anyone take out a Rogel Dawn in one phase. They've done it in a shooting and an assault phase combined, but that was because my screening was bad. But this is just an absolute brick shithouse, and it is going to sit there taking punches to the face, looking intimidating, and whilst my opponent's dealing with that, the Demolishers shall feed. But the last thing in the motor pool is the Humble Basilisk. You know it, you love it. It is the quintessential guard artillery piece. Now, this has 2 jobs in my army. Firstly, it's going to sit on my home objective. A lot of people like to put something fragile, like a 5-man squad or something on a home objective. I don't like doing that because of Tempestus Aquilans. Because it's not just me who's going to have them. There's a very good chance that my opponent are going to have some kind of 3-inch deep strike thing or Tempestus Aquilans, and if I have something weak and fragile, then my opponent can deep strike down and destroy it, and then I lose my primary. By having a Basilisk on there, it means that my opponent is going to find it a lot harder to just deep strike down and remove that. And also, because of the size of the Basilisk, it makes it harder for my opponent to deep strike, if not impossible, to deep strike directly onto the objective, sort of keeping 3 inches away. So it's sitting on that objective, it's keeping that nice and secure. It's also doing its usual indirect fire things. And the big one is that Death Guard are on the rise. Death Guard are on the march. Specifically, Death Shroud Terminators, which have got a 4-inch move. I want to have a unit that can slow those buggers down, and the Earthshaker is the perfect man for the job. Thanks to its Earthshaker shells, it can reduce the movement of those Death Shroud Terminators down to 2 inches, and it can -2 to their advance roll, and it can -2 to their charge roll. Whenever Death Shroud Terminators hit the field, they are the first thing that my Basilisk is going to go after. But with the vehicles covered, we now need to get to our specialist infantry, and we have got a few units here. Firstly, we have got everyone's favourite droppy boys right now, the Tempestus Aquilans. I'm using these old 3rd edition Stormtroopers to represent them. Now, for my Aquilans, I've gone for a Sergeant with a lasgun, and I just want to say I love the fact that we can give Sergeants lasguns with Aquilans. It's one of the things that I wish we could do for all of our guard units. And also, he has got the Sentry Flamer. Now, I tried the Sentry Grenade Launcher, and I was actually quite unimpressed by it. And a lot of people in my community said, Mordian, you need to go for the Sentry Flamer. It's just much better for clearing away those light units. And you guys were right. Sentry Flamer is a much better option. I then also got a Plasma Carbine in there because I'm kind of focusing this unit on being able to clear away shitty little backfield holders, and so more anti-infantry is better. We've got a Sniper Rifle in there, and then everyone else has got the Hot Shot Las Carbines. Really, really like these guys. Of course, their principal job is going to be deep striking down 3 inches away and getting me secondary points. I'm looking to establish many locuses, and I'm looking to get behind enemy lines whenever I need it. These guys will probably also be my #1 focus for things like the reinforcement stratagem, because being able to deep strike them down and they die, and then reinforce them and next turn do the same thing again is really effective. And last but certainly not least, we have got the Tempestus Scions. The Giga Blob, consisting of a 10-man Scion squad with Plasma Pistol, Power Fist, Double Plasma Gun, and Double Melter Gun. And then we've got this command squad with a Plasma Pistol, Officer, Melter Gun, Grenade Launch, Plasma Gun, and a chap with the Regimental Standard. Combining these 2 units together, having the command squad lead the Scions, makes for a 15-man squad that, in my experience, can reliably delete any enemy infantry unit in the game. they are going to get at least reroll 1s to hit. More than likely, they're going to be targeting things on objectives, so I get full rerolls to hit. And they're going to have lethal hits, and they're going to have sustained hits as well. Sustained hits all the time, lethal hits against anything that isn't a vehicle or monster. Not only are these guys going to be clearing away those tough enemy elite infantry units, but they're also going to be providing me with a few more bodies as well, because I've only got the 5 Chimera squads and normally I like to have 6. And also they're going to be acting as some pseudo counts as indirect fire. Because they can deep strike, they can get the angles that some of my other units can't. Normally I never leave home without like double basilisk, because I like to have two sources of indirect fire. Well, these scions are acting as my second source of indirect. Putting all of this together, we have got a total of 10 armoured vehicles and 76, if we include the engines here, infantry models. That is a really respectable amount of armor, and what I found kind of surprising when I put all this together is I haven't skimped out on my infantry corps at all. I think that if I didn't have the scions and I was just relying on the Chimera infantry, it would feel like I didn't have enough bodies. But by having a total of 75, and then of course I can reinforcement 10 of them, so sort of giving me 80, 85, 86 infantry, I think that does give me not only the Daka and the firepower and the boom boom of the vehicles, but it also gives me plenty of objective control and plenty of secondary game as well. At least that's what I think. But of course, all of this is just like my opinion, man. Let me know what you think down in the comment section below. What do you think about this army list? Would you change anything about it? Are there any units that you remain to be convinced about? If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to smash that like button. It really does help with YouTube algorithm. And if you subscribe, that would be awesome, because we're trying to reach 60,000 subs by the end of the year. Would you like to know more? If so, then please consider becoming a channel member or patron. By supporting the channel, not only will you be doing your part, but you'll also be helping me create more content for your viewing pleasure and unlocking a whole host of perks. You get everything from a badge next to your name, custom emojis, but the big one is access to the Mordian Glory Discord server, an online community with almost 2,500 active members. It's always popping off in the MG Discord. We've got channels for army lists, hobbying, tactics, stories, and even a pretty spicy meme section as well. For all you greenhorns that wanted to see the Mordian glory hole, today is your lucky day. And joking aside, I do want to say a massive thank you to all of the current channel members and patrons. You guys are amazing, truly the lifeblood of the channel. I could not do Mordian Glory full-time without the incredible and generous support of my members, so thank you guys so much. And last but certainly not least, I want to say a personal thank you to all of my top tier patrons. These are the War Masters, the people who have truly gone above and beyond the call of duty. So a heartfelt thank you to Alex Dengal, Bonbon Vert, Mad Larkin, Marcus Roberts, Mark Panconi, RJ Scorpion, Swordfish Trombone, Try Again Bragg, John Stubbs, Nick Wolf, Diesel Fox, and August Varney. Seriously guys, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Your support is incredible and it makes a huge difference. Thank you so much. That's all for now. Hope you've all enjoyed today's video, and of course, as always, see you guys next time.